Welcome aboard. My name is Constance Mega. All right. On this hour, we'll be talking about pastures. All right. And you all know what it means. Simply put, looking for, or maybe going after a better or a more promising situation. Seeking greener pastures. So this is actually something that a lot of people believe. It's always that mindset on the other side. Some people say the other side of the ocean. So young people, especially, they feel that their lives will be, better. Everything will just turn out fine. Everything will change. Nigerians will say everywhere goes stew. Everything nice, So they feel that's going to happen the moment they get into a plane and, find themselves in a Western country. And so, Japa is always the plan. It's always the dream. It's always the goal. But then, really, I don't know if some people really ask themselves, is relocating to another place where you do not any good, especially when there is famine in your country. There's no drought here. Like physically speaking, there are countries where there's no rainfall, nothing is working. You don't really have that happening where you are. But just go to past. I feel literally right. Greener pastures. So looking for where the grass is greener, where everything seems to be looking all fresh and nice. But crazy enough, though, people also, even within the country, right? People also feel they are. Perhaps in their village, or they feel it's happening. Because everything's just a big. When you go to Lagos, that's when, I don't know if you've met people who talk about things like that. They tell you how it is happening elsewhere, but not where they are. I've also even heard of people who relocated to another part of this country, and after a few years, they came back. Like they got back, they had to pack their things and go back to where they left. And ask them, so what happened? Why are they there? And you don't have to come. So the thing also happens to people who travel abroad. It's just that most times that's not the story we hear. We only hear about how they are making $1 million by coughing. So yes, we'll be talking about that. Seeking greener pastures. Is Japa overrated? This whole relocating abroad, is it overrated? I don't know if you've heard stories that are not as you heard stories. All right. If you're also such a person, I will. Is this whole Japa thing, all right? Is it overrated? And really, is the grass greener on the other side? Okay, so we'll have that conversation, and in between at 1 o'clock, we'll make way for trending stories, and then we'll continue and wrap up. At 1:30, we have his story, and then at 2 o'clock, we'll bring you the news. That's the news update, after which we'll talk about cultural and societal influence. I read a story of a footballer who is not English, and he spent almost a decade in England. And this young man still did not learn how to speak English. And he said, it was more like a conscious effort not to learn it, not to allow the culture affect me. It was a conscious effort. And it really got me thinking, because I know that over time we've always talked about societal influence and how the society can influence you. The culture of where you are can actually influence you without you knowing it. And for something as basic as language, I think that's one of the most basic things, right? About any culture, anywhere. It's the language they speak. So cultural influence or societal influence, is it something that happens consciously? Or is it really something that happens unconsciously? Because this young man is proving that it could only happen if you allow it. But we'll talk about that after the news at 2. That will be the last conversation for today, all right? So head on to Facebook right now. Let's talk about this whole seeking greener pastures, whether it's abroad or in another part of the country or anywhere, but seeking greener pastures. I'm asking, is Japa overrated? Packing up and relocating, especially to the abroad. Is it overrated? All right, on Facebook, we're Nigeria Info 92.3 PH. Get on there, like our page, and also share the conversation. Let your friends know that this is happening right now so they can join the conversation, okay? Remember, I want people who have traveled abroad and have returned to also join this conversation, and people who go there for vacation every now and then. Why are you not living there? Why have you not packed your things and gone to stay there if the grass is really greener on that other side? But you could also let us know if it's overrated, really. I just want to find out from you, okay? And then you can send a message via WhatsApp to 0809 030 6416 0809 030 6416. And I'm also taking calls, so let's hear from you. 0817 923 0002 0817 923 0002 and 0817 923 0007. The number to call. So, still talking about whole packing up and leaving, all right? Whole mindset or idea that where you are is not enough. It is better at the other side. Things are better over there. They're not better here. It's when we move to that side that we will see a better life, that we would live a better life. You know, the thing is, we actually only know in part. Yeah. That's the thing. Whether it's any place, you don't know the entire thing about the place. You just know an aspect based on what the people who have gone there want you to know so that you can come over. Based on what the people who are there are projecting either to the media or to every other person. You only know in part. You don't know the whole thing. You don't know the whole gist. I'm going to try and find a particular story. I think I saw it yesterday. Someone was talking about I remember now. So he said basically that if you earn about 150,000 naira in Nigeria, that you are better than 49% of people who have relocated abroad. That was what he said. So people are out there and they are suffering. No help. It's not like you can, because the thing about moving, especially when it is moving to abroad, is that people just believe that your life is better. So you can't even be asking for money. Yeah. Unless it's your family members who know how you got there. They are the ones you can ask for money. But you cannot be in the UK and telling somebody in Nigeria to send you something. You're falling hand. So people get over there and they do not know that there are so many other things to consider until they get there. And they're facing the reality on ground. And it's like, no help. What can I do? I can't even come back home. Some of them don't even have the money to come back home. But then there are people who have it better. They went over there and their lives changed. And most times those are the stories we get to hear. But is the whole relocating to abroad overrated? Mr. Zion is calling from GRA. Hello, Mr. Zion.
Yes, it's highly overrated.
Why do you think so?
Overrated, yes, because when we see the old institution, there are a lot of secrecy that is shielded on that.
A lot of what?
Secrecy. A lot of things they will not tell. They won't let you know that you pay bills, a lot of bills. You cannot escape one of them. Unlike how most of us used to escape our power bill, which we call the NEPA bill. We escape it a lot. How much are we buying water compared there? Your gas, your heater, my witness me, my sister, the bills plenty. Even parking lots, you pay for it. So you see that those economy, they are there to shock you. I look at it as a modern day slavery. And that is one reason I don't want to leave this country. And I will not leave this country for no reason. If I'm not leaving for a study, even study is too much. Maybe I'm leaving for a conference. Or I heard that it's a city or in America, a particular street is being mentioned constant. And so much beautiful things there. And I'm going there to go and copy the structure of what is in Constance building in America back to Nigeria. See, it's overrated. And most people are living out of low self-esteem, pride. Make them know say myself idea abroad. No now. Constance, do you know a lot of our brothers and sisters living there? they are virtually working for that country. How many percentage of the money they earn, that is up to them. That is why you see them, whenever they send money home and their buildings are not completed, they are in talks. Heaven must fall. Why didn't you complete the building? I thought you have so much money. Your brothers and your sisters, they earn your money. Why are you complaining? This is one reason. When I had the opportunity to travel 2002, I said I'm not going. I look at it as a slave mentality. If a country is not good, I should stay back and fix it. For 23 years, my commitment is to call on radio station, educate my fellow Nigerians, talking for development and paint a better picture about Nigeria. Without that, I won't call radio station. Just to make sure Nigeria is seen in a global community as one of the best places anybody can live. Look at my telephone, my call charges to you. Do you know that it's very cheap? I do call foreign radio stations and do keep on hold like this. If I connected to the studio, I know how much I'm paying. Do you know the rate? So when you look at Nigeria, we have it all. If I leave, you leave. Who will vote in the right person? If you leave, I leave. Who will go and be the governor? Who will be the senator? Who will be there for us? My sister, this country is. Before I leave the floor, Constance, did you listen to Dangote's speech yesterday during the commissioning of the program? Go and listen to that speech, Mr. Zion.
All right. Thank you for calling, Mr. Zion. So he says it's overrated. And he was talking about the fact that there are so many bills to pay. And it got me thinking, right? Someone who lives in the village might also be thinking the same thing. Oh, by the time you go to the city, there's a lot to pay. The food you eat that you just enter farm and go and get, you will not get it like that. You have to buy. I think it's basically the same thing. Or maybe it's not. Right? So, usually, right, there are people who actually leave the country, and what they usually have at the back of their mind is, let me just get there. They really do not have the plan of what it is really they want to do there. Yeah, and then sometimes you can't really blame them, because someone who is trying to live where they are, they're feeling uncomfortable, they're feeling like they're not making it, they just want to go to somewhere else and start something. But they just know that once they get there, oh, you see dollars, they'll be packing it from the streets. Pounds, don't worry. But finally, is Japa overrated? Chimeze is calling from Elele. Oh my. Alright, Chimeze, please call back. Oba from Oyibo. Hello.
Hello, good afternoon, Constance.
Good afternoon, welcome.
Yeah. An interesting topic.
Alright.
Yeah, Constance, I myself, I want to narrate my own experience.
Oh, interesting. Go on.
It might not be in Europe or America or wherever. I once traveled that to Libreville, Gabon.
Okay.
That was after WAEC in the 90s. You know, I wanted to leave to US anyway, but it wasn't easy here. Then somebody I know came from Libreville and said, hey, what are you doing? I said, well, I've just finished school and this is it. He said, well, come to Gabon. From there is very easy. You don't spend nothing to go to wherever, any part of the world you want to go. You know, so he arranged it for me. We went. You can't believe it when I got there, what I saw.
What did you see?
You know, when first of all, you have to deal with the French language.
Oh.
You know, and another one, I entered illegally.
Ouch. So
I was hiding from the gendarme for God knows how long. You know, so and you cannot even the paper to travel out. You cannot get it easily if you don't have your residential permit. What we call the carte séjour. You know, but I struggled and I got it. Then it wasn't easy. So I started working there. doing menial job, not that is a white collar job. Constance, if some of us tell you, so you cry for us.
No.
I worked as a serial pusher. That's something we construct with refrigerators, spoiled refrigerator. We hang it on a 4-wheel stuff and use it to sell drinks. You know, there was a day I was pushing the thing. I was in a marketplace and it touched a lady. You know, this lady told me off. She came and hooked me on my shirt, slapped me, and started telling me, you Nigerians, what do you even come here to look for? You come here to spoil our place, like you have spoiled your place. All we shall still is you, like they pursue us every day. We still come back and that, you know. And you can't touch her, you can't do nothing. I was just looking at her. And after all this, she just now used that my shirt and wiped her face, you know, for sweat and all that. And I was just laughing and pleading, say, please, pardonnez-moi, excusez-moi. You know, it's not easy, you know, briefly. It's not easy.
So at what point did you decide to come back home?
Yeah, at the point I said, one, I wasn't getting younger. I needed to raise a family, and I didn't like that place to raise family. So I had to come back. And there's a friend of mine too. He's a carver. He's a carver. He got there. He said he doesn't want to stay here, so he just came to make money and either come back to Nigeria or go to somewhere else from there. But the boss got wind of that information and now had to keep the guy. Even threatened the guy that unless he doesn't want to stay here, I will put him in prison. He must work for him. The guy ran away and came back to Nigeria. Wow. You know, so it's not easy.
All right.
It's not easy.
All right. Thank you very much.
Though you work for some people, but it's not always easy, like we think.
All right.
Thank you.
Thank you very much, Uba from Oyibo. So it works for some people. That's what he said. Because we have the stories. I mean, the stories we have about the whole Japa thing is that the grass is greener over there. In fact, the water that waters the grass is there. It's direct from heaven. So you hear stories of the good roads and other social amenities. You hear about how, and hey, well, of course, the dollar, the pound, I mean, these currencies are stronger, like way stronger than the naira. And so people just travel, and the goal is to just make money. That's just the goal. Whatever you can find to do it. Once they pay you, once you calculate it and place it side by side with the naira, you find out that you're making some good money. But are they really telling you the struggles? Is Japa overrated? Samson is calling from Benin City. Hello, Samson.
Hello, Constance. How are you?
I'm fine, thank you. You're welcome to the sunny side. Please go on.
Thank you. So, with respect to your question, yeah, in Edo State, it's very common. Japa. Even where I'm working, my co-worker said the Sun Japa from Nigeria is very common. It's overrated. Though it's a personal decision, but it's overrated. There was something that some person said some time ago that my heart bleeded. My heart bleeded.
Your heart bled.
When Russia were about to invade Ukraine, war started. There was a radio station I listened to. Some persons called me, said those who are there, the Nigerians who are there, they should not even think of coming back. What will they come back to Nigeria to do? When there is war in a country, they are saying that what should they come to Nigeria to do? It's better they die there. My heart bleeded. So Nigeria is not so bad. The way people are painting it, it's just that one should keep improving himself so that life may improve for that person. Because over there, I tell you, one cannot pick dollars even in the streets of America. It's not done. You must work extremely hard, sometimes day and night, to even meet up. If you go to UK, the same thing. People work day and night to meet up. is not easy. Some persons, anything that happens there now, they say, okay, leave. Some don't even have money for a flight ticket to even come back to this Nigeria. So we should not overrate it. Nigeria is not so bad. The traveling out is a personal decision.
All right, thank you. Dennis is calling from airport. Hello, Dennis.
Hello, Constance.
Hi. You're welcome, please.
Japa or no Japa, nobody likes to leave his place of birth. But if the place becomes obnoxious, you have no option. For those who are still childish, anyway, I'll put it that way, because some of us know the value and then the spiritual meaning of abdicating your source. The truth is, with 1 billion naira, you, Constance, Google 14 million for a 90-seater bus. With 1 billion, you can get 71 of it. Put it out, it's the people's money. We are living in River State that has 555 billion as our budget. 1 billion can provide transport for the people. 10 billion can provide housing for the people. Agricultural tractors, 4 million. Google it. Those tractors that can till your land are 4 million naira. You can provide it with 1 billion and people will be happy. There will be so much food production here. Then you talk about industrialization. You just say, come and develop industries. Encourage the people, most of them, even though they have stolen the money, give them assurances, tax rebates, stop all these tax force things and all. People will build industries and there will be massive jobs. My daughter came back from abroad and was saying, I can go and look for the job. She now wanted to go on the street. I said, look at you. You think here is abroad? Because move from M complex to the gate, you would have seen more than 30 industries producing nail, producing trafficator, producing this. They need services of people. But when people can't get job here, what do you expect them to do? They will have to go. It is hell staying in many countries abroad, but the truth remains that it is more convenient to live there. And then talk about mental torture. How could the youth come out for election again after what happened in the last election? One man will thwart the will of every other person. We live with mental torture. They punish Nigerians as if we are goats. That's wrong. It's in fact enough to make anybody to Japa, to in fact leave the place. Right. It is sad that we have such mentality here that we acquire money. Where do you go with money? No wise man that will not listen to the counsel of Solomon. Vanity of vanity. You are building where rust will decay the paint you have used. Does it make sense? You are driving cars, you bring cars back in your house. What are those cars? One car is equal to the other means of transport. But because the people here are daft, they think cars are cars are this and all that. Those people who have provided infrastructure abroad, when they have brains, but here, these are dummy brains, foolishness all over the place. It's sad to think about this country. Thank you.
Oh, well, Dennis, thank you for calling. So it comes back to that same thing. Yeah. So he brought us back to that same thing where you have people paint Nigeria in such a way that it feels like the way they talk, just like the way he ended his conversation, daft, foolishness everywhere. It made it sound like everybody in Nigeria is just foolish. We have a lot of daft people, or everyone is daft. And so nothing is working. And that's one of the things I hear people say sometimes. Nothing is working. But if you are truthful to yourself, really, is nothing working? Remember, we're talking about Japa. Is he overrated? Okafor from Elelengo, you're welcome, please.
Thank you. Good afternoon,
Good afternoon.
Constance. When we were growing up, we were told in a local palace that they need to take better eye, they enter cherubim. And when we had all this thing, we never knew what it was all about until we come and find ourselves in a place called Nigeria. A good percentage of these people say they are Japa. They don't Japa because they like Japaring, but they Japa because they have nothing left for them to do. Some prefer to be what do I call it? They can do any sort of job outside there, provided they get something doing, than to remain here where you become nobody before even your community, before even your family where you come from. It's unfortunate. You know, when one has the opportunity to work in a system, you think because you are working, and then you think those who are not working, they are so good. There are lots of graduates today outside the whole place looking for something to do. There's none. They couldn't find any. There are those who struggle even to drive keke. The people, the task force and head they are put together, never even give them that conducive environment for them to do their keke business. From who decide, let me put umbrella and be repairing people's phone. They don't create an enable environment. And then when they look all these circumstances, none was favoring them. They think it's better to be a slave outside the country than to be nobody in your country. And that's why you see a good number of persons. They don't travel because they love the area they are going to, but they travel that, let me just go out. And once in a while, even if I call my family and they say, how are you? They say, we say, we're all fine over here. So, like other callers who are called, we all love Nigeria. But those who have opportunity to make Nigeria what Nigeria should be, that misuse everything that need to put together for Nigeria to be better than this area our people Japa to. But we are not doing that. We're in a country where one person, the money even meant to get welfare for the people is inside one person's pocket. Then what is left for people to do? You graduate and then be eating, mama, thank you. This year, thank you. Next year, thank you. And you go around all the place, you cannot find something to do. You say the only option, even if you require going to Ghana.
All right, Okafo. Hello, Tammy. Oh, wow. Hi, good news.
Hello. I'm grateful for the mentally.
Welcome.
Thank you. I want to take this discussion to another level. I've heard wonderful what my brother, sister, who called, said. Do you know that? Like you call it Japa in Yoruba, you call it Tawama. Now we run Tawama. Do you know that? If you carry the leaders of America or United States, UK, I'm going to Nigeria, carry the leaders of Nigeria and send to America and US, give them 10 years each. UK will turn, Nigeria will turn to UK. So that those Nigerians who have gone to America, including our leaders, they will leave America and start coming to Nigeria for treatment. Our doctors will leave and start coming to Nigeria for livelihood.
All right, goodness, please, I have commercials. You have to call me back.
Yes.
All right. Do stay tuned. We'll be back.
For more talk, news and sports, stay tuned to Nigeria Info. We'll be right back after this.
I don't want to wait till I graduate from this school before I think of what to do with my life.
Exactly. I am going to seriously work on my music skills. Let me use my talent well, I beg.
I would like to be a radio presenter, but I don't know how to go about it.
But
The whole Japa, is it overrated? Because we seem to be hearing the good stuff. Oh, I make this amount of money per hour. And if you change it into the Nigerian naira, you're going to get 100 million naira. Oh, over there, this and that and that. So usually that's what we hear. But how about the other things that we don't hear about? I don't even know if people have really considered the level of people that really travel abroad. No, it's not the fresh graduates from school whose family struggled to put through school. Nah, go and check. It's usually not those kind of people. Usually not those kind of people. Do they travel abroad? Yes, they do. But usually it's not those kind of people. When it comes to those kind of people doing the Japa thing, most times they actually go through the illegal means, right? So I found that particular post I told you about by one Prince Additional on Twitter. So he says, if you are in Nigeria and earn 150,000 after tax every month, you are better than 49% of people living in the UK. So he now says, see, forget glow pictures and media hype. We all broke. Before you can truly make it in the UK, it might be after 5 years, considering the job you are into. And some other person says they can't relate. You know, more like trying to buttress his points and all of that. So some people, I've also heard stories, right, of people who they move over there and they're all packed up inside one room. A lot of them, and they're just managing, going out and literally hustling. I know some other person would be like, are we not hustling also in Nigeria? Is it not better to hustle in a place where the environment is conducive than to go and be hustling where sun is hitting you, and at the end of the day you can't even see the money? It's better to go and hustle where you can see the money. So I already mentioned this earlier. Some people are traveling abroad and there is really no concrete plan. The only plan is, let's go there first. By the time we get there, yes, we will know what to do. Is it not in this same Nigeria that we've been doing this and that and that and that? How much more in an environment where the government has put everything in place? There's nothing we can't do. So yeah, don't worry, let's just get there first. And the man who called in to say he went to Gabon, right? After someone told him that, when you just come there, everything is just easy. Hey. And then he had to stay for years struggling. There are people who are struggling. They will not tell you that they are struggling. No, they won't. Because they are where? In the UK and in the US especially. And sometimes some of them are not even there. They've not even got into the UK or the US. They're still on the road. They've entered one country hoping that. And so they're struggling. So the UK is planning to do something because Nigerians are too much these days in their country and they're not liking it. So I'll tell you about that after the trending stories. I see your messages on WhatsApp. I see them on Facebook. I'll read those messages when I return. Do stay tuned. My name is Constance. about something that you need to know. First of all, the weatherman says that the weather is partly sunny. All right. And this is a good time to talk about body odor. Yeah. Okay, so let's talk about water and body odor. So yes, I'm right here as your water prefect, just to remind you to drink water. Okay, and